Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. How's it going?
Excellent. Thank you.
That's good. I think we have about 9 people in there. We'll give a couple extra minutes just because we've changed our system, as you've noticed, to registering for the Zoom webinars rather than just logging right in. So we'll give a couple more minutes. David, are you with us?
I am. Can you hear me?
We can. How are you doing, David?
Excellent. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Just a quick question. Are you planning to share your screen during this presentation?
I am, absolutely.
Okay. Just a quick note for everyone. If you want to be able to see who's talking, as well as see the screen once it's shared, you can just click gallery view when David shares the screen.
And then you just, you let me know whenever you guys are ready to get going. I see that people are still loading in, and I know, obviously we'll have a few people just kind of trickling in last moment there. So let me know, and I'll be ready to rock for us. I hope everybody's having a good start to their Tuesday. It's like sometimes you don't even know what day it is anymore.
Very true. Rita is letting us know happy Taco Tuesday. So yeah, we'll maybe give it a couple more minutes just to let some people come in. As I mentioned, we
Rebecca.
changed the way we're doing things, so some people might have to register.
Rebecca. Hello.
Hi, Jeff.
Hey, quick question.
Yeah,
Since it's Taco Tuesday and Cinco de Mayo, is that like the world colliding?
it actually is. I think so.
I think I need some tacos today.
I know we were gonna make a post for Cinco de Mayo. If we
We're
could do
gonna
that.
celebrate with Corona, Jeff.
Absolutely, with lime in it, and then some tequila to burn off the Corona. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's where we're at today. But yeah, if you want to get started, do you think it would be a good time? We have around 12 people in. As you said, there'll probably be a couple more people trickling in as we go along.
Perfect. So we want to get going.
Yeah, that might be a good call.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Perfect. You should be able to see my screen now.
Yep, we can see it.
Awesome. All right, cool. And will you be monitoring the chat for any questions? And this way we can take that up at the end.
I will.
Excellent. Okay, good stuff. I'm going to keep my eye on it, but only so much as we get moving here. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate you guys all joining in Remax Ultimate. Thank you very, very much for the invitation today. Guys, I'm excited to be here. For those of you that don't know me, my name is David Greenspan. Well, pardon me. Hi, everybody. Got to turn the camera on. So now we got camera and we got screen. You can see that? Hi, Rita. Amazing. Okay, cool. So let me start that one again. My name is David Greenspan. I am the founder of MindShare 101. For those of you that are not familiar with MindShare, MindShare really is a concept that started about 5 years ago based on work that I've been doing for over a decade and a half for the industry. And it came from the idea of listening and speaking and learning from thousands of realtors across North America about what your challenges are, where are you seeing your business from, where are you finding your successes, where are you finding your struggles, what can we help you with? And one thing I found was most people overcomplicate this business. So we're going to get into a whole bunch of cool stuff today. But for those of you, and I put it up in the chat as well, and I just want to bring it back out. If you're on Instagram right now, make sure to check me out, follow me, send me a follow, and we'll follow back at David Greenspan 101. If you're a Facebooker, which you better be a Facebooker, go on at Facebook MindShare 101. If you're a YouTuber and you like to watch video on YouTube, everything I do, my channel on YouTube, as well as everything I do, the hashtag is MindShare 101. So if you're going to post today, if you're going to take this opportunity to share with the world that you are learning today, now is the moment. Take a photo, post it up on your stories, post it up on your social media. Make sure you tag me. Now, what are you doing here? One, you're putting out content to your network. Two, you're showing your network that you were actually spending time learning today, not just watching Netflix. You were being productive. And three, well, once I see that you've done that, I am going to reshare that. I am going to tag you back. And now your audience sees me. My audience sees you. We both have content to put up. And well, that's how social media works. It is that simple. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about social media in a few moments, but I just wanted to bring light that this is my contact information. So for anybody that does want to connect through social, ask questions, or connect with me after the fact, you will not have a hard time finding me as long as you get this information. Also, speaking of, how many of you here are into listening to podcasts? I am the host, Rita. Cool. I don't know if you follow or subscribed yet, but I am the host of the MindShare podcast. This is a marketing and sales podcast for the real estate industry. We are part of the Industry Syndicate Network, which is a big network of content providers, podcast, hosts, and we are all across North America. So you can download the free app, Industry Syndicate. You can have access to a whole bunch of really awesome podcasts, or you could go direct to your iTunes or any major podcast platform and subscribe to my show. Again, it is all geared towards helping you get better at what you do for a living and ultimately achieve what you want in life. Now, all that being said, we're in a crazy time. We're in a really crazy time right now. About 7 weeks ago, our world came to a stop. But I really want to make it clear that we don't have control over what happened out there. And whether there's COVID or there's no COVID, we really don't have control of much that goes on with the market. We don't have control over what our competition does or doesn't do, or how they react or how they respond, or whatever they're doing on a regular basis. We cannot control what other people are doing. The only thing we've got control over is our own success. It's what we do on a daily basis, how we operate every minute of the day, so that we're achieving, again, those things that we ultimately want to achieve. And a lot of times through social media, as we were just talking about, and through looking at what the person down the hall is doing, we start to really get into our own head about what we don't have and what we're not succeeding at. And we start to let other people dictate what our success looks like because we're allowing their actions to penetrate our mind. But it's important. It is really, really important that we make it clear right now, especially because of the time that we're in right now. You are in control of your own success. You have to take control. You have to have a plan. And so what I want to do today is I want to talk about the 3 steps to building MindShare in a time of crisis. There are 3 things that we need to be doing on a regular basis. I want to take you through those right now. I want you to internalize what you're doing every day when you wake up. I want you to internalize what your plans look like on a regular basis. This is going to help you. So step 1 here, the first thing we know is everybody's wondering, what do I do? You see, we've gone through the whole, what do we call it? Different stages of our emotions and of this entire virus and this pandemic we're going through. And it started off with a complete unknown. We didn't know what was going on. We were told, hey, social distance, self-isolate. And we started to think, should we be taking listings? Should we be doing open houses? And then we heard all the riffraff and the banter online about, anybody taking an open house is wrong, or anybody taking a listing is wrong, and everybody should just stop working. And don't get me wrong, I'm not pointing fingers at that. In fact, I totally agree. I think we've done an amazing, amazing job here in Canada at flattening the curve, at doing the things, being socially responsible so that we are not infecting other people. We are not putting ourselves and our families at risk. And this is good. That said, the world keeps moving. Bills keep coming. We have to work. But what do I do? My routine's different. I used to get up and go to the gym every day. I used to go and get a coffee every single day. But now that's not the same, right? Things have changed. And so it comes back to, what is it that is my guide in life? What am I looking at on a regular basis? I want you to think about something here. If I gave you the address to a property and you had no idea where it was, but you knew you had the address, you were about to get in your car to get there, what would you do? Chances are, would you punch it into, I don't know, something like Waze or Google Maps? Would you look up that address to try to figure out where to go? Of course you would. That's what we all do. That is our map. It's our road map. Well, now when you sit back and you say to yourself, what do I do now? What should my day look like? Yes, the routine has changed. No, I can't go to the office or the gym or the coffee shop or whatever. Well, what do I do now? I'm sleeping in a little bit more. I'm going to bed a little bit later. Everything has totally changed. Well, instead of just a roadmap, we want to have the life map, okay? And this comes back to your calendar. You see, if you don't know where you're trying to go, how are you ever going to get there? You see, that's like getting in that car, and even though you know the address, you put on a blindfold, you put it in drive, and you just start going. Well, how are you ever going to get there? You're not. So much the same, if you haven't got a calendar, how are you ever going to get there? And where is there? There is ultimately what you want in life. You see, for me, I know what my lifetime goals are. And by knowing my lifetime goals, I'm able to break it down to annual, monthly, weekly, and then daily, so that I've got daily action items that I need to do every single day in order to achieve the success that I want to achieve. So I ask you, what is that lifetime goal? What is it that you're trying to achieve? Is it a bigger house, a fancier car? Maybe it's caring for a loved one. Maybe it's paying for your kid's school. Whatever it is, you've got to know what it is, and then you've got to know what you need to do every single day to achieve that. And so this is one of the biggest fundamental issues we find in this business. You see, we know that the top two biggest reasons that realtors get into this business, number one, it's freedom. Number two, it's flexibility. Okay? The freedom to do whatever you want when you want. The flexibility to do whatever you want when you want. And one thing we know about real estate, the money can be great if you do it right. But you're scrolling Facebook randomly, aimlessly every day doing it right. You're scrolling the MLS and just scrolling through and checking things out and looking at listings the right way to do it. Or do we have a goal every single day that we should be doing to build relationships? And of course, it's the third one. Your goal is to build relationships. So if you want the freedom and flexibility, you've got to be able to manage your time. And managing time means having a roadmap. Instead, this one's called a life map, and this is your calendar. So I want you to think about something right now. Where do you track everything you do? Where is your guide to success every day? And I'm talking your calendar. Are you somebody who likes to use pen and paper? Are you somebody who maybe uses their phone and says, this is my CRM? Have you got an online system that you're using? What is it that you are referencing every single day to make sure that you know what to do every single day? Now, once you figure that out, because first of all, if you don't have that, then you are the chaotic realtor. Now, you might have a good business. You might be making some money. You might be getting by, but we both know that you've got a lot more upside in you. There's more opportunity to do more in a day, to make more in a day, but you don't have enough structure. So again, where is your guide? What is your life map? What is your map, your road map in life? What are you watching at? It's your calendar. And now from this calendar, there's a way to use this effectively. We know we're going to get up every single day and we're going to go to work so we can pay bills because we know we've got to make money. That being said, we also know that we want to go and hang with family and friends and loved ones, and we just want to enjoy. And remember this freedom and flexibility thing, being able to work on our own hours and do our own thing, fly by the seat of our pants where we want to, all good. But if you want to make above average money, you need to work above average hours. So in comes, again, managing our time accordingly. And this all starts with planning our predictable days, which begins with what we call realistic time. So your realistic time is what's real for you. Now, when you look at the calendar on the screen here, and this is in a normal world, and we're living in, anything but a normal world right now. But when you listen to a normal, or when we're in a normal world and you look at this and you look at your realistic time, looking at my schedule, you'll notice things like my wife's yoga. You'll notice things like my son's baseball and his hockey. You'll notice my hockey. You'll notice my daughter's dance classes. You'll even see that I put the Leafs game in there because these are all things that are realistic for me. These are moments in life that I'm going to take the time away from work to spend with my family, with my loved ones, with my friends, to spend doing the things I want to do in life. Who just wants to work all day, every day? I mean, I certainly feel like I do most times, but the reality is that's not what we want to do. We all want to just take it easy, have fun, enjoy, smile, and laugh. So the first thing we do in order to manage time is to plug in the realistic time. Because that excuse of, oh, I'm just too busy, and I know that there's other people that say, oh, I'm never too busy. But the reality is, that you're not getting everything you want to do. You're not picking up every call and returning every message you're supposed to. You're not doing as much as you can every single day. And it's because we haven't got the guide. So plug it in first. Plug in the realistic time, the things that you have to do, that you want to do with your family members, the extracurricular stuff, the enjoyable stuff, the stuff that we do because we want it. Plug that in. That's realistic. It's not realistic that I'm going to be working at that time. The next thing we want to do is plug in our predictable days with income-producing activities. So now that we look at the schedule and we see the yoga and the hockey and the baseball and all those little things that we like to do, we see that plugged in. Now we've got to plug in the work stuff. We've got to know what we need to do every single day. So we actually have this map, this thing that I'm talking about to help us have more freedom and more flexibility and have more success to drive massive ROI. And that's your schedule. So now it's plugging in the line items. What are those little things you need to do every day? And I'm going to say things like phone calls and emails and meetings and getting on social media, right? Doing some admin work, running around and showing properties when the time is normal to do that, right? But there's all these different items that need to be done every single day. Do you know what they are? And if you do, when are you plugging them in? When are you getting your calls done to your database? Oh, I hate making the calls. I don't want to make the calls. I don't know what to say. I haven't spoken to them forever. Okay. But if you plugged in to make the calls, we're going to talk more about that in just a moment. But again, everything needs a line item. So you'll see here, I've even got scheduled in here social media. Now, I might put it in there for 30 minutes in the morning. I might put it in there 3 times in my day. But every time I go on, again, which we're going to talk to in just a moment, I'm always acting with purpose. I know what I'm doing. I know why I'm there. Once I achieve it, I move on. So this is about, again, managing time. I'll plug in 30 minutes. I'm not taking 31. I'm not taking 35, and I'm not taking 60. Whoops, by accident. I am scheduled right to a T on what I need to do in a day. Now, the day starts off very colorful, just like you can see here. So each and every single day, we'll have a number of different line items. When am I doing my calls? When am I doing my social? As I just mentioned, it'll be color-coded. The minute I'm done with that, at the end of it, I will now go back and I will make those gray. Why? Because they're done. Because now at the end of the day, when I look back and I feel frazzled, or maybe I feel totally clear-headed, who knows? But I look back and I want to know, what did I do today? Did I accomplish anything today? I can look back at my schedule and it tells me that I did good today. It makes me feel accomplished today. And again, I know through all the conversations that everybody has a problem with time management. Everybody has a problem staying driven. And especially, again, right now, where everybody's at home and we're not able to go into the office and we're not able to keep up with normal routines. What am I doing? Where do I go? What do I do to be successful? When do we come out of this thing so that I can have the success I want this year? And a lot of my coaching clients, a lot of the folks that I'm coaching one-to-one and my group coaching, everybody's got goals and everybody's fearful that they're not going to achieve those goals. But one thing we know together, especially my coaching clients, because they aren't most people, is that we're sticking to a plan. We know exactly what we're trying to achieve, and we know exactly what we're going to be doing every single day. And the more we know what we're doing, the more success we're going to have. In fact, when we've got a plan, when we have a plan, we personally are able to manage time better. Therefore, we feel better about what we do every day. We're not as frazzled, we're not as worried, and we're not as caught up in, how did she get that deal? Why him and not me? We're not focused on that stuff. We got our blinders on. We're not worried about the noise from the outside sources. We are focused on what we need to do. So it helps us manage time better. And by managing time better, what ends up happening is very simple stuff. We believe in ourselves more. We wake up happier. We're more ready to get to our day. We feel accomplished. We've got a better mindset. And by doing that, we believe in ourselves. Other people begin to believe in us. And now they're seeing the successes and they're seeing the things that are coming to us. And they see that it's real. It's passionate. You see, I want you to think about a marathon. We've talked about real estate not being a sprint. It's a marathon. It's a long game. It takes time, and fine. That said, right now, If you've put everything on hold and you are essentially not doing enough because you feel like you're stuck, you feel like you're inside the house, like you can't operate the way you normally do, I want you to think about something. When the green light comes back, when everybody says, when they give us that announcement to say you can go back to work, everybody's going to go line up at the exact same starting line for that marathon. And when the gun goes off, that green light goes up and everybody busts out of the gate, there's going to be a ton of noise. There's going to be a ton of traffic. There's going to be people tripping all over themselves. Nobody's going to know which way to go. And you're going to be caught in the chaos. Wouldn't it be nice that when that green light goes off, you're already way ahead of the game? You can look back behind you and see everybody back there, or you are so far ahead that you can't even see them back there. That's where you get success from. You see, that's what you do, or that's how you build MindShare, is that you consistently get out of the gate every single day. And now as you're managing time better and you're believing in yourself more and other people are seeing your passion and believing in you more, what ends up happening from there now is they're going to tell other people about you. The power of referrals. And guys, referrals have always been golden in this business, always. I tell you now, when we come out of this, what's going to end up happening now is people are going to want to know who they're dealing with. Because everybody's going to be, yeah, we're okay to get back to normal, but hey, you think she's got it? Or do you know him? I don't really want him walking through my house, right? You get it? So the power of that connection point is huge. And so as you're managing time and you're having your successes and everybody starts to talk about you and your people start telling other people about you, well, you don't have to market yourself so much anymore. These people are helping you build positive mind share. And the more mind share you build, the more market share you get. So as you sit here today and you're going, what do I do? How do I do? The first step in this whole thing is manage your time. Know where you're tracking your calendar. Know what you need to do every single day. Get up, or pardon me, before you go to bed at night, schedule yourself. Take 15 to 20 minutes. Plan your day for tomorrow. Then get up in the morning. You're going to bed satisfied and you're waking up ready to crush it, because you wake up, you look at the schedule, you know exactly what you need to do, and you do it. At the end of the day, you can look back at everything you accomplished. And again, now you're motoring. Now you got a lot going on. And now you're not worried about all those outside sources or what you saw on Facebook. You have a goal in mind, and we are achieving that no matter what's going on out there in the market. So step one to this whole thing, to managing your business and building mindshare in a time of crisis, is to manage your time. Step two, with time comes money. And all too often, I see realtors out there all the time spending stupid amounts of money on stuff that doesn't work, or that maybe works really, really well, but maybe often we're not putting the time and the effort into all of the training we're getting or all of the tools we bought. And now these things sit on a shelf, and because we didn't want to take the time to learn what we needed to do and how to implement it, we end up spending more money. Or we get totally complacent and we go, yeah, you know what? I know I need to be doing that, but I just don't have the time. So I'm going to go hire somebody to do it for me. Now you're going to end up spending money for somebody else to do something for you. And if we think of something like, the typical one here is social media. Everybody wants help with social media. And I get it. And if you're one of those people going, yeah, do you need help with social? If you're thinking yes right now, hey, I can help you with that. But I will tell you, and this is outside of me, because again, my coaching is very different. We'll talk about that after. But when you look at typical Facebook or social media advertisers, you're looking anywhere from about $2,000 to $2,500 a month just to manage the account. Plus you got ad spend with Facebook. Now I use this as one example, but there's so many people that want help with social. So now we're willing to spend $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year on social media. But hey, social media is free. It doesn't cost you anything. So why are you spending the money on it? In fact, did you know that if you are that complacent and you're going to spend $24,000 with the company to do that for you, the reality is you've got to go out there and work harder to bring in something like $35,000 just to pay off that bill. So now instead of saving you time because you felt you didn't have enough of it and you went out and hired somebody to do it, you've now actually caused yourself to work a lot harder because you've got to go make all that extra money. So again, money is not the solution to complacency. Money is why we get up every single day and we go to work. So managing our money is crucial to our success. So here's what I want you to do right now. I want you guys all to take a big piece of paper, okay? And we're going to do this together right now. I'm going to teach you right now, after the years I've spent getting educated on sales and marketing, going through school for marketing, going through sales courses, everything I've learned in budgeting and marketing plans. I'm going to break it down right now. We're going to do this in 5 minutes together, okay? So I want you to take a big piece of paper. On that piece of paper, I want you to draw a big MindShare Model T. So just the big letter T, big enough that we can fill stuff out on either side. At the top of that, I want you to write in a $sign for our budget. On the left-hand side, people we know, group number 1. And on the right-hand side, group number 2, people we don't know. Now what we've done is we've looked at our business and we've said we've got 2 audiences. And by the way, that's all you got. You got the people you know and you got the people you don't know. Would I be correct in saying, would you agree with me when I say that 70 to 90% of your business comes from the people you know? Right? Now, there's always a few people that see most of their business from strangers, and I'd like to go through your marketing plan and find out how much are you spending to get that business, because I guarantee you're probably spending a lot of money to do it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But this term ROI, return on investment, I'm putting out X, I'm going to invest, I want to get a return of Y. Well, again, this is that money thing, right? We don't want to spend a ton of money just because it seemed like a nice, bright, shiny object because somebody down the hall said it's working for them. We want to do it because it makes a lot of sense. We want to do it because we can afford it. And again, when we look at a time like right now, and we think to ourselves, oh my God, I got to pull back on marketing. Oh my God, I don't know where my next paycheck's coming in from. I'm worried. Hey, we get up every day to go to work to make money. And so money is very important that we pay attention to it. So the first thing I want to do here is I want to analyze your money, okay? And I don't want to know the answers to these questions. You got to write this down for yourself. But the first thing I want you to do right now is I want you to think through, when it comes to money, your needs, okay? What do you need to pay off every 30 days? The bill comes in no matter what. The bills don't think about COVID. The bills just keep coming in. Mortgage, insurance, house insurance, car insurance, gas, hydro, right? Cell phone bills, anything that comes in on a 30-day basis, I want you to mark that down because, you need to pay for it. They're sending you a bill. They want their money. So write that down. What does that total up to? Is it $1,000 a month? Is it $5,000 a month? Is it $15,000 a month? How much do your needs add up to? Write that number down. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our wants. What do I want in life? I want to have a nicer car. I want to put a pool in the backyard. I want to go for lunch, or I want to buy that bag or those shoes. What do you want in life? And of course, months like November and December are going to be a lot higher than January and February just because of the holiday season. But I want you to take an average. How much do you spend every month on wants? You spend them. I spend them. Mark it down. Is it $100? Is it $500? Is it $5,000? What is that number? Mark it down. So what we're now doing is we're analyzing our needs. We're analyzing our wants. And we're making a determination of how much money do I need to bring into my household in a 30-day window just to pay my bills. And of course, needs, groceries are included in that, right? Just to pay my bills, though. What do I have to bring in? Once you understand what that number is, then we can go to the next step and we can figure out your marketing budget. So let's do that together right now. Now that we know X amount of dollars what I've got to bring in on a monthly basis, I ask you a question. Can you spend $50 a month on your marketing? And if you're like, yeah, some of you might be like, yeah, I could do that. Well, my next question becomes, can you do $100 a month on marketing? And if you're like, yeah, no problem. Cool. Next question. Can you do $200 a month on marketing? Now, some of you might be like, whoa, 100 is kind of my limit right now. That's okay. Mark it down. That's okay. This is a starting point. You see, the last thing we want to do is we want to over leverage you so that when a time of crisis hits, you got to pull back on everything and just stop and disappear. We don't want that. We want you to be the resilient agent. We want you to be the one that's constantly building the MindShare. We want people to know that the doors are open, the lights are on, and no matter what's going on out there, you are a resilient business person because that is the person I want representing me. not somebody who can't figure out which way's up, not somebody who's stressing out, who had to hide out because, things weren't so good. But hey, if you need me to help you with your deal, I can do it for you. Yeah, you're not really giving me the confidence I need, right? So again, we want to know, what can you spend? And so again, if you got to stop at 100, stop at 100. But let's say at 200, you're like, yeah, I could do 200. I'm like, okay, cool. Could you do 400? And you're like, oh man, yeah, I can do 400. All right, cool. Can you do 800? And you might be thinking like, ooh, 800, that's a lot of money. Okay. Now, if you could do 800, go up to 1600, right? Keep going with the same process. But let's just stop at 8 for a second. You go, nah, that's a lot of money. Great. Can you do 700? Could you do 600? Yeah, I think I could do 6. Cool, your number's 5. You said I took you up to 8, and I could tell you were doubting that. You were like, no, that's a lot. 7, it was like, man, it's still a lot. 6, you were like, okay, I'll push it. Well, then we want 5. We want something comfortable. Now my next question becomes this. Can you do $500 a month next month? If you're like, yeah, well, could you do $500 a month the month after that? Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's fast forward to the end of 12 months. Can you do $500 a month for the next 12 months? That's 6 G's a year. Yeah. Cool. One more question. Just one more. Could you afford to spend that money this year and not make a single penny on that money? Now, you're probably all thinking, like, why would I spend that money if I wasn't going to make any money? Well, look, nothing's a guarantee in life. But we need to know that if we spend it and we don't make anything from it, we don't lose the roof over our head. We don't have to lose the shirt off our back. We don't have to shut business down. We don't have to start pulling back on stuff. We can keep moving forward because we did it on budget. So what we're doing right now is we went through our needs, we went through our wants, we then did the gut check for how much more money you could spend over a 12-month period without making a dollar. That right there is your marketing budget. Now I want you to take that number and write it up at the top of the Model T here, $500 a month, $6,000 over the year. And again, that might not have been your number, so you got to write down the number that works for you. The next step here is, now that we know our budget and we've identified our 2 audiences, and again, we know that group number 1 delivers 70 to 90% of our business. The next thing we want to do now is start going through your marketing tools. What do you do to build your brand out there? Do you have a website? If you do, what is the cost to it? Mark it on the right side, because that's really for strangers. Friends and family aren't really going to our site. Do you have a bus bench or a billboard or a hockey board or something like that? Any big signage? If you do, again, who's it geared towards? Strangers. You see, every time we're about to mark down what we're doing for marketing, we've got to think to ourselves, who is that serving? What channel am I using, and which audience am I targeting? So now again, that billboard is going to strangers, mark it down on group number 2 and attach a dollar figure to that. What does it cost you per month? Let's say you're doing Facebook ads. And again, social media ads are going to strangers, right side, write it down. Maybe you're doing cold calling, you got a dialer, right side, write it down. Maybe doing newsletters for your contact list. You might be using Kits Keep in Touch Systems, our company. Put it on the left-hand side, write it down, monthly cost. What are you doing for marketing? Did you do door hangers once? Did you hand out pumpkins at Halloween? Do you do ice cream giveaways? What do you do for marketing in a 12-month period? I want you to think it through and then mark it down on either the left or right side based on who it's geared towards. Then take a dollar figure, attach that. What did it cost me on a monthly basis? And then I want you to take that stuff and I want you to add it up at the bottom. And by adding up what you do for both groups, you should be within budget. But if you're over budget, now it's time to analyze. It's time to review. And again, have I said this yet? In a time like right now, during COVID, with everything we're doing, you might have had to tighten up your budget a little bit. So what did you think to cut? Or what would you think to cut? Or at least review and see if it's working, if it's worthwhile. Well, simple. Everything on the right side of the group. Group number 2. You see, because those are the strangers. Those are the ones that only deliver 10 to 30% of our business, whereas the people that know us, like us, and trust us deliver 70 to 90% of our business. Now, write this down. Your contact list should be between 200 and 700 people. When you've got a list between 200 and 700, I can tell you through the years of doing this, again, I own Kits Keep in Touch Systems. We see databases all over the place. We know the agents that are making money, that are doing well. We know the ones that are paying bills. Let's just be blunt and real about this, right? When your list is somewhere between 200 and 700, you've got a resilient business. And that list right there will feed you, which now means you are working easier, back to the freedom and flexibility thing. You are spending less money and you are making a lot more because you're focused on the right group. This is the one on the left-hand side, group number 1. You see, if they deliver 70 to 90% of your income, then 70 to 90% of your marketing budget should be geared towards those people. Stay in touch with them, build relationships with them, maintain that with them, and in time, you will get the direct and or the referral business. Now, think to yourself, if your list isn't 200 to 700 people, who's my butcher? Who's my doctor? Who's my dentist? Who are all the people that I don't have on the list? In fact, do it like this. If you knew somebody and they went and worked with somebody else and it would piss you off that they went and worked with somebody else and they are not on your list, ask yourself why. Why aren't you putting them on your list? If it would bother you that they go somewhere else, they need to be on your list because it is not their fault. It is yours. You see, guys, you know it. Your contact list is a gold mine. You just got to mine that shit. So this is all about, again, going after and having everybody on there. We're talking first names and last names, mailing addresses, mailing addresses. You got to know where they live. Email addresses, social media. If you know I'm a hockey fan, you also know I'm a Leafs fan. Mark it all down. My birthdays, my home anniversaries. The more you know about me, the more channels you connect with me on, the more opportunity you have to build MindShare. And again, MindShare equals market share. So we've gone through and we've identified our audiences. We've gone through and we've identified our budget. We've gone through and we've identified what we're doing for marketing right now and what it costs us. Now we just need to identify whether we're on budget, below budget, or over budget. And now we are managing our money. So I hope you guys took notes on that because, again, this is the second step in managing during a time of crisis is our money. And if you felt at any point right now that you're worried, you're struggling, you're fearful of where your next check's coming in, look, you're not alone. Everybody's in that exact same boat right now. So you're not alone. Take a deep breath. But the difference between you and most people is what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do to change your situation or adjust your situation or reassure yourself that you're on the right track? So far, the first 2 steps, I want you to manage your time and I want you to manage your money. That right there will ease the mind and help you continue to have the success you're looking for. Now for step 3. Step 3 is what we call communicate. Communication. We've got to get out there on a regular basis to communicate with people. I haven't really looked at the list of people that are on this call right now in full detail to see if any of you are using kits, but I will tell you, on behalf of the company, we sent out to every single one of our members this month a sample newsletter of what their April newsletter looked like because we wanted to reassure everybody that the content was very sensitive, very topical, very top of mind. You see, we believe it's important that you're a positive conduit of information. You are keeping people up to date of what's going on. You see, the more you keep them up to date right now, the more they're going to think about you, the more opportunity you get. And again, MindShare equals market share. So we sent out a sample newsletter, but with it, we also sent out, and I haven't got any with me. They're not on my desk right now. You can see it on my Facebook. We sent out stickers with like smiley faces, and some had like, smiley faces with the tongue sticking out, some were teeth, whatever. But there were stickers that people could stick to their COVID masks. If you're wearing a mask, it just makes it fun. But really what ended up happening was this was our way to communicate to our clients. We wanted to say, hey, look, content was great. Don't worry, we got you under control. We got a ton of amazing feedback from people. We also wanted to make people smile. And our goal was ultimately the smiles, not the feedback. The feedback was nice, but the smiles were the best. And this was us communicating. This was us building MindShare. So we sent that out and we got great feedback. And now people are posting it up online. And again, because they're posting it, this is not us talking about it. This is them talking about it. Who gets the social proof? We do. So what are you doing to connect with people right now? In fact, I want you to go to mindshare101.com. You can do this right now. Mark this down. And I want you to download this ebook, okay? Totally free. This is my gift to you. No strings attached. But go download this ebook. We haven't got enough time to get into it all today. This is going to walk you through all 7 ways to communicate with your clients. And as long as you're using all 7 ways on a regular basis, You're now again building positive mind share. You're doing it across the right channel to the right audience, but you're putting yourself in the right place at the right time. And the thing about real estate is we don't know when that time is. We don't know when somebody's going to be ready to buy or sell. We don't know when they're going to want to pick up an investment property. We don't know when they're going to have a referral opportunity. But we do know that if we use all 7 ways to communicate, we can continue to build the mind share and again, be the first person they think of. So make sure you go and download that right now, okay? And I want you to leverage that. And if you got questions about it, get in touch with me. But this is another resource I want to give to you today that I want you guys taking advantage of. So again, mindshare101.com. It's right there on the homepage. Just fill it out. You'll get the ebook immediately. Now, there's 3 things I believe you should be doing on a regular basis as we work through COVID. 3 things that I want you to be doing. Number 1, calling people. And I know we've exhausted this. We've talked about calling people like crazy over these past number of months. Or past number of weeks, you've probably heard it a million times. But who do I call? What do I say? How do I call? Oh, I don't even know. It's been 3 years since I spoke to them. Okay. Pick up the phone and say this. Hi. It's amazing what people say on the other end. They'll actually say hi back. And I know you're probably like, are you serious, man? That's all you're giving us? No. Seriously, think about how simple that is. Now, to be a little bit more strategic, start from the top of your list. And I know it's going to suck and I know it's going to be tedious. And even if you haven't spoken to these people in a little while, I want you to get the courage to pick up the phone and call because everybody is at home right now. And it's a nice time to talk to people. But there's 3 things here with the call list that I want you to do. Number 1, I want you to go through that list. I want you to identify who are the young families and who are the elderlies and who are the shop owners. And maybe you haven't got the shop owners in the list already, but if we go back to point number 2, you got to get those people on the list. So now for the young families, you want to know what to say? Call them up. Ask them what they're doing with the kids to keep the kids busy. Ask them how the kids are handling it. Make it about the kids. Do not make it about real estate. In fact, most of your calls that you do on a regular basis should not normally be about real estate. They should simply be a, hey, how are you call. This is a relationship business, remember. And again, in the 7 ways to communicate, that book you downloaded or you're about to download, it's going to walk you through the mix of your active and your passive touch points. The passive touch points will deliver the business message. The active touch points will allow you to just deliver the nice message. Hey, how are you? So as you're going through identifying the young families, the ones with children, find out what they're doing to keep the kids busy. Right there is a topic of conversation. For the people that are elderly that you determined in there, find out what they're doing if they need any help with anything. If there's anything you can run in and get them, or you can order something online, you can have something delivered. What can you do to help? And the shop owners, here's one that most people don't think about. You know that store that you used to go to pick up your milk or your eggs or get your gas or whatever it is? And we all have these like certain places we frequent on a regular basis. I want you to think about those places. Think about the fact that you haven't been in there in a while, probably spending your money. Think about the fact that they're small businesses and they're probably scared and struggling. What can you do to call these people and put a smile on their face today? Call them up. Let them know who you are. They may not even remember you, but they sure will after this. Let them know who you are. Let them know that you're somebody that comes in there on a regular basis. You're always shopping in there. You come in there at least once a week and spend some money, but you haven't been in there in weeks. And you know that it's a rough time for everybody. But you wanted to call them and reassure them that you will be back. Now, by telling them you will be back when this all ends, by telling them you will be spending more money in their store again, what are you doing? You're giving them hope. You're giving them that reassurance. You are making them smile. Now, what do you think is going to happen when you go back in that store after the fact? They may not remember you by face, but the minute you drop it on, be like, oh, it was so good to talk to you on. It's so nice to see you again. They're going to remember exactly who you are because I ask you now, how many people do you really think are making those phone calls to their shop owners? Probably not that many. So here's an opportunity to build positive mindshare. Now, you got to do it genuinely. You got to really care about what you're doing. But let's fast forward like 6 months from now. You're doing a community event. You're doing something to raise awareness about you and your brand in the community. You think maybe it'd be helpful to be able to leverage some of these shop owners? Of course it would be. Do you think that these people would be open to helping you? Of course they would be. Why? Because you picked up the phone and made the phone call. You reached out to them to see how they were doing. You were genuinely caring about them. That means a lot to people, especially in a time of crisis. So take advantage of calling your database. Do not hold off. You know that 79% of your business comes from that list. call that list. People are home. They want to talk to people. We all miss people right now. This is your opportunity. Now, when we go back to managing time, you don't have to call the entire list all day, every day, but call 5, 10, 20 people a day. Schedule it into your calendar. You got 2 hours to make your phone calls. Make your phone calls, get out, and go on and do something else today. You don't have to spend all day doing it. Make your calls, move on. Next day, make your calls, move on. And all the while you're making those calls, I want you to go in. I want you to track your notes about what you talked about. This is, again, the predictable days we talked about, right? In point number 1 with managing time. You're going to track the note of what you talked about for the person you spoke to. Then you're going to schedule immediately to call them again and say 3 months from now. You're creating those predictable days with income producing activities. You can look ahead in your schedule. You can see when you're tied up. You can see what you're doing. And you know, by making those phone calls, you're building more MindShare. You're building on that relationship. And we know it's a know you, like you, trust you business. So the phone calls are absolutely key. The next one here is social media. And a lot of folks overcomplicate social media. So I want to simplify that for you right now. Here are 5 things that I want you to focus on a regular basis. Okay. This doesn't cost you any money. This is just literally you having a goal. So again, line item this in your schedule. When am I doing my social today? Then do this right here. 1, go through and like and react to people's posts. Love, wow, angry, sad, whatever. Go through and do that to people's posts. Okay. Don't just stalk, where you're just scrolling aimlessly and you're not saying anything to anybody. Don't do that. That's not what social media is about. You want to get engaged with people. So like and react as you scroll. Comment on posts. So don't just like and react, but actually say something. It could be as simple as like, wow. It could be as much as like, oh my God, I had something like that, blah, 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 blah. Here's the story. You see, the more you comment, the more other people may get engaged in it. And all of a sudden, what have we done? We've taken one interaction with one individual and it could spawn to 5 or 10 or 20 people. We know all those other people that are commenting and reacting on that post will see you. MindShare. So again, this is us leveraging social media. Do not expect any of this to just turn into a deal. It doesn't work that way. But again, it's MindShare. It's connections. It's engagement. The third thing here, share other people's posts. Now, one thing I'll tell you, I hate when people just randomly share posts and they don't say anything about it. I think it's just useless. You didn't put any time or effort into it. It's just something you want to put on your social. No. But if you're going to share a post, give me commentary on it. Tell me why you're sharing it. Tell me why I should read it. Give me something. This way, maybe I'll engage back with you. Again, more conversations. Much the same, post your own content. But Dave, nobody cares about me. I don't really know what to post. I'm not good with this social media stuff. Listen. If you're on Facebook or you're on Instagram and you're scrolling, you obviously care about other people's stuff. So what's the difference between you and them? And why aren't you posting? Okay, fine. So what do I post? Well, have you taken a photo yet of what you're learning today? Have you put it up yet that you're with one of the best brokerages in the entire country? And these guys continue to help you do better and learn more? Have you told your clients that you're educating yourself during this time right now? Oh, there's a lot of things you can post. The skies are blue. Take a picture of the blue sky and just say, I love it. Summer's finally coming. There's a lot of opportunities to post content. Don't overthink it. Put it out there. You will be amazed by how people engage with you. And all of a sudden you'll be like, oh my God, that was so easy. So take advantage of it. And much the same, send out friend requests. Don't be shy. Don't be a secret agent. Connect with people, reach out to people, engage with people. And my little 2 cents on this as well is stop spending so much time in other groups with other realtors. Yes, they're good referral opportunities, but why don't you go find groups about interests you have? Again, I'm a hockey fan. I'm a Maple Leafs fan. So I can go find groups for hockey. I can find groups for Maple Leafs. I love my Harley Davidson. I can go find groups for Harley Davidsons. I can find groups that are relevant to me and who I am as a person. People who've got like-minded interests as me. I can go in there, converse with those people, talk with those people, with things I enjoy. Then all of a sudden I find out one's a realtor. Bam! I want to make a connection point. Maybe they're not a realtor. Maybe I just want to connect with them anyways. Same thing for you. Where are the people that you want to deal with? They are on social. They are in these groups. Go find these people, connect with these people, build relationships, and then start transferring that online to offline. Get them into the CRM. We're building that list. Remember that number, 200 to 700. This is another way to put those people into the list. This is another way to get more people on there because that list will feed you. The third thing here is video. Now I want you to read that for a moment. I want you to take this one in. Because as I see here, although it is, I'm the one presenting right now, nobody's got their video on at the moment. Now, that could be because you're shy, or that could just be etiquette for today's meeting, which is good too. But if you are shy of the camera, I want you to really understand this right here. You do look and you do sound the exact same as you do in the mirror. So don't be shy. Now is the time to leverage this. I mean, it's like we've been forced into it. We have no choice. We've got to do video if we want to connect with people. I mean, if I wasn't doing this, how would you see me? How could you see my facial expressions or excitement or whatever? You might not be able to, and it's a different presentation. So if I want to speak to you, if I want to talk to you for the first time, or I want to promote myself, or I just want to connect with you and say hello, video is powerful. And again, that is COVID or no COVID. So here's a few things I want you to think about when you're doing video, and I just want you to keep these in mind. Number one, and this also goes for a lot of these Zoom meetings that we do, always have the sunlight in front of you. You don't want the sun behind you. If you've got the sun at one side of you, you want to have the other side of you somewhat lit up. Now, don't overcomplicate this whole thing. I got a whole lighting setup in my studio here. Don't overcomplicate it. Typically, all the video I do is me and my phone. So I just make sure that if the sun is behind me, I'm just going to turn around and I'll put the sun in front of me. This goes for selfies. This goes for doing video. Always make sure you're lit up in front. Checking your background. These days, being where we are, if you're, broadcasting in your bedroom because it's a nice sunny place in your house, watch for your dirty laundry in the background. Watch for, a jewelry stand in the background. Pay attention to your surroundings. Much the same in a normal world. If you're outside in public, watch that maybe you don't have another realtor sign in the background, or watch that nobody's doing something silly, right? You don't want to go viral for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? So again, always check in your background. The next one is too much noise is simply too much noise. So if you hear a lot of banging, right, you can hear this in the background right now. This is annoying to listen to while I talk, so I'll stop. But let's say you're outside and everybody hears the wind everywhere. Yeah, am I hurting your ears with that a little bit? So you want to watch, because wind, again, is a lot. It's very bad for our ears. We don't want to listen to that in a video. We want it nice and clear. This could cause people to turn it off. So again, watch. The other thing you want to pay attention to is if you're in a restaurant, and you hear the jingling and jangling of the glasses and the silverware and the dishes and everything else, right? These, again, could be very noisy distractions, and people don't want to hear that stuff. So always pay attention to the noise in the background. Oh, looking at the lens. So right now, if you look at your screen and look at me, I right now am looking directly at my screen, okay? Much the same like this. If I'm holding my phone and I'm looking directly at myself on the screen, I'm looking at myself. But what we really want to do when we're doing a video or we're even doing a selfie, I don't want to just look at myself, or I actually don't want to look at myself at all. I want to look directly into the lens at all times. I want to make connection, eye contact with you. Even though I can't see you, I know if you're looking at the screen, you can see me. So we're making eye contact together. Again, this is something that's real important. I know people in this business that are, supposedly professional coaches and trainers and everything else that still don't make eye contact with their lens. Please, for the love of all things video and selfies, always look at the lens. So find the tiny little lens on your phone, stare at that. It's going to seem difficult at first because we've got this knack to want to look at ourselves or want to look at the screen or want to see the person we're talking to, especially when it's, if you're on screen and I'm speaking to you, I want to look at you, but the reality is this is really me looking at you. Okay. So always making eye contact. And then finally with our hands, sometimes people don't know what to do. So they sit there very still and they don't want to move too much because, they're not sure if they can. And so it's just very awkward, which means it's just very awkward. Or you get people who talk way too much and they all of a sudden do this big politician thing where, they don't want to just say a little bit, but they want to say a lot. And now they're going to start to use their hands like they normally wouldn't use their hands. And this isn't really me, but this is what I'm doing right now to just demo for you. I'm going to use my hands. I'm going to overuse my hands and pretend that I'm somebody who I'm not. And I'm going to hit my microphone and do all sorts of weird stuff. No. Be you. Be whoever you are. If you talk with your hands, talk with your hands. I know for me, I can barely say anything if I can't use my hands. That's why every time I'm on stage, they give me the lapel microphone, because if I'm holding a microphone like this, I got a problem. But at the same time, I don't want to be the politician. right? So be comfortable, just be you. Guys, one thing to really understand, everybody is trying video right now for the first time. Many people are. Many people are making mistakes. Many people are learning. Be one of those people. If you haven't been doing it a lot, just learn. Be comfortable. The more you do it now, this is like riding a bicycle. The better you're going to get, you will not forget, and you will just continue to be able to do it. So take advantage of this stuff. You know, be it on the Zoom meetings that we're doing. How about stories? Is anybody here using stories on their social media? What a powerful way to take advantage of video, to post pictures, to get comfortable with social media. All the stuff we just talked about. And these stories are these things right at the top of everybody's Instagram and right at the top of everybody's Facebook. And the beauty of it is the more frequently you post and the more I tap on your story, the more you're going to show up right at the top of my feed, which means every time I open it, you're going to be there, which means you are building MindShare. Now, the more MindShare we build, the more market share we get. So take advantage of stories. Again, much the same. If you're on this call right now, tag it, take a photo, tag me in it. I will see it when we're done and I will repost it. Now we're both building MindShare. Now we're both putting more content out there. It is too easy not to take advantage of. And then here you can get really, really raw with your video. No polish, no worries. It'll disappear after 24 hours anyways. So you can make whatever mistakes you want. But we gravitate to the real, to the natural. All that polish with the background music and you know, your picture of you staring out into the distance. Please. Nobody's going to connect with that stuff. And then Facebook Lives, again, take advantage of these. This is, you know, much the same to doing a post. You just go and click live. Facebook will give you a 3-second countdown. It is too easy. Guys, I just want to encourage you, do this stuff. Now, just before we taper off, much the same we talk about video, there's been a lot of talk about virtual showings and how do we continue with our business right now? So I just want to give you a quick little tip here. Here's something you can do. You got this property that you want to showcase. You need to get the photos. You need to get the video. Jump on a Facebook Live or set up a Zoom meeting or do if you've got, I'm not an Apple, I'm an Android. So whatever you call it, iChat or something like that, FaceTime. Okay. You can do FaceTime. You can do WhatsApp. You get on video and literally have them walk you through on landscape, have them walk you through the house. And they're going to take you on a tour. They're going to walk into the kitchen and go, this is my kitchen. And they're going to take you, the cabinets and the granite and whatever. And they're going to show you around. Then you're going to tell them, okay, move into the next room. And all the while they're doing this, you're taking notes about the house. And as you're taking notes, now when you're done getting the tour by them, you're going to say to them, now I want you to go back to the kitchen. I want you to take a nice close-up picture of that cabinet. And you know that granite, I just want a nice pan. Just give me a nice pan on that, okay? Just a quick clip. And then go to the master ensuite and get a picture of this and go to the backyard and get a picture of that. And tell them exactly what you want. You're the director. Then get them to upload the assets, the video and the photos, to like a Dropbox or a Google Drive. Now that you've got that, you've got the pictures, you got the video, the next thing to do here is just edit the stuff. So you could do this on your own using something like Adobe Lightbox, or you could send to my buddies on Australia, Box Brownie, and they'll make the pot lights nice and the sky nice, and they'll make it all look pretty for you. Or you want to simplify that whole thing, send it off to your photographer, your virtual tour people, and get them to put it together for you. Now that you get this finished product back that looks good, now you're going to post it on your social media. You're going to post it up on your website, and you can go ahead and do real live Zoom meetings with anybody that wants to see the property. You can show them the property. So again, really, really easy ways to take advantage of the technology in your smartphone that you've already got and continue to do your business, okay? So we've talked about the 3 must-dos, and I really want this to be a line item in your schedule every single day. Who are you calling? When and what are you posting on social media? What are you doing to act with purpose so you're not spending time? And how are you leveraging video right now? By taking advantage of all 3 of those ways to communicate, you are building MindShare. And as I've said a number of times already on this call, MindShare is a top-of-mind, intuitive, instinctive reaction to a product or service. When somebody thinks about real estate, you want them to think about you. And as I continue to say, MindShare equals market share. So we've talked today about managing time, showed you how to go through your calendar and really create a map for what you have to do every single day so you're not aimlessly wondering what to do today. We've talked about managing money. I really went through and showed you a very, very simple way with the MindShare Model T on how to determine your marketing budget and how to review your marketing plan and then adjust as needed. Again, are you over budget? Are you on budget? Are you under budget? And then, of course, we talked about how to build MindShare. So I encourage you guys, take the time you have right now. Look at your schedule. Think through how you manage your time. Start to take 15 to 20 minutes every single night and plan your day for tomorrow. You will go to bed satisfied and you will wake up determined. Figure out your money. That is the biggest source of frustration for most people. Think about your money. Think about how you're managing it. Adjust where needed. That will get you through these times. And then again, build MindShare. Download that 7 ways to communicate. Get involved in building MindShare every single day across all 7 channels. Now, if you want to take this further, we offer group coaching where you can join our private online community, and you can find all this when you go to my website, mindshare101.com, click on coaching up at the top. You can look at the different options available. You can get into group coaching. Guys, it's only $19 a month. We do 2 live webinars a month. They're masterminds. They're called MindShares, where you get to join us. You get to learn. You get to ask questions. You get to network with others. We're also in there every day feeding content to the group. So you've got other actionable steps and other takeaways that you can leverage every single day. It's a very powerful group. There is no negativity. Everything is completely tactical. Surely an investment into your business. So that's at $19 a month. Now, if you want to sign up for the entire year right up front, it's only $199, so you get a good savings there. Much the same, if you look and go, I really need help with this, and I need more. I need to roll up my sleeves with somebody and have somebody really push me to get this stuff done. Well, that's where the one-to-one coaching comes in. And if you're interested in talking more about one-to-one and how we can help you specifically achieve what you ultimately want in life, all we have to do is jump on a 30-minute exploratory call. I've got a series of questions I want to ask you. I want to learn more about you. I want to see if we're the right fit. We'll break down everything that comes with the coaching. We'll explain to you how it works. No strings attached. So if you'd like to do that, message me, send me a DM or email me, say, Dave, I want to set up that call. We'll coordinate a time. And again, we'll chat. We'll see where we can go from there. But I will for sure help you get to that next level, what you're looking to do. Now, above and beyond that, as I see here in the chat, and thank you so much, Rita. We are grateful. We offer MindShare Marketing, which is the Kits Keep in Touch system, including Loop CRM. This will give you all the tools you need to be able to stay in touch with your database, from direct mail to email to CRM to websites. If you've got a website, we offer these amazingly robust websites for only $18.95. So there's a ton of value packed into there. The team can walk you through a demo of that. So again, there's lots of options: the group coaching, the one-to-one coaching, the MindShare marketing. It is all outlined at mindshare101.com. Look under the tab that says coaching. Learn more. If you got questions, let me know. And again, if you want to take advantage of the online group at only $19 a month, our first webinar is literally this Thursday. You can register online, or again, send me a message if you've got any questions. So just as we take off now, or as we open up the floor for some questions, I want you to think about, just like the story I told you with the masks that we send out to all of our members, what can you do? What have you done? What are you going to do to get out there and make somebody smile today? Guys, this thing is going to get past us quickly. There's no point in hiding under a blanket or in your house right now and not talking to people. Get out there and build that MindShare, because that MindShare is going to get you a hell of a lot more business when all this stuff ends, and it will end. That being said, again, here's my contact information. I will now hand the floor over to you guys. And if anybody has any questions for me, please ask away.
Hi, David. Can I ask a question? It's Andre here.
Hey, Andre. Absolutely, man. How are you?
Good. Thanks. Good presentation here. And just kind of would like to know a little bit more information on the CRM that you guys offer.
Absolutely. It's a loaded question for sure. There's a lot to share about it, but Loop CRM is certainly, it's what I run my life off of. So it's got the 3 pillars of CRM that you really require. And this is something everybody's got to think about. It's got the calendar, it's got the contact list, and it's got the marketing. Now, you could say, well, I've got everything, my calendar, my contact list on my smartphone, but your smartphone doesn't have your marketing. And then your smartphone cannot track when my birthday is and have all the reminders and all the history of all of our calls. And that's why we want to take advantage of a CRM. So Loop is loaded with the ability to track your days like we talked about, to have your contact list in there and track everything you possibly can about different people, including building your book of business with note taking, etc. It's got action plans, it's got drip campaigns, it's got auto reminders. You can set people up on auto call reminders. And then of course it's got the marketing. And the marketing comes in a form of 10 times a year of a direct mail newsletter. It also has a 12 time a year email newsletter, which is different content. All that stuff can be automated to go out on your behalf. It also offers curated social media content. The other thing too is that with the websites that I briefly mentioned, you can manage all of that from the back end of Loop CRM. So you don't need a web programmer, you don't need a developer, you don't need anybody special on that. You can just literally get in there and manage it on your own. So, loaded question for sure, Andre. I appreciate you asking, man. If you'd like, what we can certainly do is get a demo set up with my team, and they can walk you through the entire system.
Okay, thank you.
Did you want me to set that up for you?
You can. I wouldn't mind hearing, I guess Rita is the one who uses your system, your program.
That's from what I'm seeing in the chat. Yeah, she mentioned that.
Rita, would you mind sharing your experience and what you find beneficial?
Well, just because I'm in the Zoom call, I'm not necessarily in the room, sorry. I have used the Kids Pack marketing package for over 2 years now. And again, we are not like in touch with David, or we never spoke about it before. But I have, when I studied real estate, I have tried to observe the highest options of marketing tools for real estate agents, and I can tell, like, what I saw is that you can spend a lot of money on marketing. There is a whole industry building on you real estate agents spending your money on marketing tools. And as you can see, and I met them at one of the events at the Realtor Quest, and they came to my previous brokerage personally. That's how we met for the first time. And I started to use them, and the feedback from the newsletters that are, again, I didn't write it, they write it for you, they customize the content for you, and it's always up to date and it's always interesting, and they spare a lot of time and money for me with that. The feedback is incredible. And especially now with during COVID-19, when I call my clients, I don't keep in mind that these newsletters are actually going out each day, but they are calling me that, oh, Rita, we got your newsletter. This is a really amazing that you personalize your content for us. And they're really, really overwhelmed with that. So I think it's a great trick. And the cost is the fracture of if you actually sit down, because I do custom newsletters as well. And if you sit down and do a newsletter and you're techie and your graphic design, it's minimum 2 hours with all the information plus the printing cost. So if you're willing to spend it, I would recommend to invest like 6 months and see and you don't have to spend it to all of your clients. Send it to like just 20 in the beginning. You can customize who you can send it to. So with all the package, with the CRM, with the newsletter, with the email, it's a great package and very, very cost effective.
Thanks, Rita.
Thank you, Rita, for sharing.
Andre, there's and for everybody listening, I mean, there's a ton there. The marketing aspect is big because this is the thing that, typically speaking, when we've got a CRM set up, we're not normally setting up our marketing with it. We've got a third party where we do, marketing from another system. Or we've got people that have, a website that supposedly generates leads. And I would argue anybody and tell you a website does not generate leads. It's the ads, it's the word of mouth that generates the lead and drives traffic to the site. The site captures the lead. But when it comes to, some of these websites, they offer CRMs within them. But again, you're just getting strangers in there. The big question to ask everybody, to ask yourselves is, where am I building my book of business? Where am I building my retirement plan, my history? And I can tell you, we've been fortunate. We work with thousands of agents across the country, for the past 15 years now. And we've got, a wonderful base of people using the program, but go further. What about all the people that we've been marketing to for years, the thousands upon thousands that are in there that may have worked with us or not worked with us yet, but they know who we are? That's the value in my business. So, I mean, let's just say hypothetically, which I'm not, but hypothetically, I was going to sell the business. Do people care about my computers or my desks or the machines? Nah, it all has depreciation value. But when it comes to the list, the subscriber base, that's what people are seeing in the value. So now flip that back to you is you know that your list builds 79% of your income. So we want to be on top of that list and we want to have a good system for it. Hence what Loop CRM can help you do. We also know that down the road, a lot of people get sort of old and tired and just fizzle out of the business, but there's opportunities to sell your book. There's opportunities to do that, but you got to have history and proof. And again, this is a system that can help you build that, a mix of those active and those passive touch points. So again, Andre, I appreciate the question. If you want, we can set up that demo for you. Anybody else have any
question here in the chat?
Yeah.
David, we have Jeff saying, can we get an idea of costs and what's included?
Yeah. So Jeff, are we talking specifically, are you looking at the coaching? You looking at the marketing? Are you looking at both? What, can I ask maybe a little bit more specific there? Marketing. So when you're looking at the marketing cost, there's going to be a one-time setup fee for the system itself, anywhere from $260 to $380, and that's to get your branding in there and get everything set up for you, contact list, and really do all the dirty work to get you set up. And we do that for you. You don't have to do that. Our team will hold your hand and make sure that everything is nice and smooth. Once that's set up, depending on how many people you're mailing to on a regular basis, all depends on what your costs look like. So your CRM, if you're mailing to 100 people, you'd be looking with CRM, you're looking at about $175 a month. So that includes a hard copy piece of mail in an envelope. As Rita explained, highly, highly personalized. So everything we do is custom branded to you, but then highly personalized to each individual contact on your list. So if you've got 100 people, we're literally sending 100 unique letters to 100 unique people based on house types and ownerships and languages and relationships. The different variables will tell us what's the different conversation we're having with that person. It's very, very, very effective. So from there, when you look at about 100 people receiving the direct mail, the email, again, is included at 12 times a year. You can blast more email if you want to. All the action plans are there for you. You've got the curated social media content. So you're really getting, a good mix of the active and the passive touch points in that just shy of $200 range. Now, some people in our system have thousands of people in their contact list. They pay a lot more. Some people who've got, 30 people in their contact list, they pay a lot less. So it really is unique to you. The website is an addition. So the website's only $18.95 a month. So even when you look at it, you're still looking at what? Pretty much, let's say shy $200. So at $18.95 a month, you now have a website, and everybody can go there if you want to, whenever you got time. It's davidgreenspan.net. It's a sample site, davidgreenspan.net. And that'll take you over and that'll show you, it's got the live listing feed. It's got the ability to load up a video, change the sliders at the top so you can put in featured properties. You can change what those, which listings are coming. Are they rentals? Are they owner? Is it condos or freeholds or both? What areas are they in? Are they office listings? So there's a lot of flexibility there. There's lead capture. People can tap in and say, what's my home worth? And they can put their information in. And the beauty is, when we come back to Loop CRM, is that if somebody goes to that website and they type in their information, that info will funnel directly into the CRM. Then you're going to get a notification about that, and you'll be able to turn that person on for any of your marketing and obviously your follow-up action plan. Again, having that opportunity to not only generate, but actually convert that lead.
We have another question here from Elma asking about the contact list that you previously mentioned, between 200 and 700 people. Should that include everyone that you know, including people you won't do real estate business with, or just people that you're intending to have as leads and prospects?
So why wouldn't we do real estate business with these people? That's one question I've got. And as you answer that, I will sort of answer the second part of that and say that no, it should not ever, ever be just prospects and leads. Okay. We've got to think to ourselves, and that's why I framed it the way I did. If it would piss you off, if that person went and worked with another realtor, then they need to be on your list. So when you think about it, we look at past clients, we look at friends and family members, we look at our hairdresser and our butcher and our banker and our dry cleaner. We look at the school teacher. We look at the parents of the people, of the kids that are on our kids' sports teams. We don't know who is and who isn't going to work with us. It'd be beautiful if we knew all that stuff. I mean, we wouldn't have to spend any money if we just knew, but we don't. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to shoot. And the more shots we take, the higher chance we have at scoring. So now it's about shooting on the right net. Not, this is kind of like shooting fish in a barrel, right? Because once you build the contact list and you got the right people on the list, even though you don't know if they're going to work with you directly, they may tell somebody about you. I had a lady call me up just before COVID happened, literally like in the days leading up. And she called me up and she was very nice and she cold called my house. And I know many people hate being cold called, but I love when realtors cold call me or door knock me, and you better be prepared if you're going to come to my house. But that said, she said to me, she says, my name is so-and-so. I work with such and such. And right away I was like, oh, your office is located over at. She's like, how did you know that? Are you a realtor? I'm like, no, but keep going. How can I help you? And she's like, oh, well, I just want to find out if you were interested in, selling your home. And I said, no, I haven't thought about it. But did you really believe that just calling me like this randomly was going to get me to sell my house? She's like, well, I'm just curious. How long have you been in your house? I said, oh, I've been here about 7 years. And she says, oh, so, it's coming up on a time to sell. I said, well, maybe at some point, but, we're not there just yet. She goes, oh, okay, well, thank you very much for your time. And I said, whoa, hold on. What are you doing with this information? She goes, what do you mean? I said, well, like, now that you know that I've been in my house for 7 years and you've called me up and I've been nice to you, I haven't hung up on you. What are you doing with the information? She goes, well, you said you weren't interested, so not really much. I said, well, but hold on a second. We agreed that people move on average every 7 to 12 years. I've been in my house 7 years, so I'm starting to get on the cusp. Why would you follow up with me every so often? She goes, oh, well, I don't want to bother you. I thought, but you already just bothered me. Like, you just called me out of the blue. So why would this be the last thing you do with me at this point? Now, Elma, where I'm going with that and everybody is that you want to take that contact record and put them in your database at this point. They might have told you no, but hell, they were nice enough to talk to you. They're now open. They may be as nice next time you call, and they may still tell you they're not interested. But you know what? Since you're building a relationship, they may go tell others about you. So what you're trying to do with that contact list is you're trying to think through everybody that you have done business with and that you want to do business with and everybody you know, and you want to put them on that list. Again, just keep in mind the premise right there. Would it bother you if they worked with somebody else? And if the answer is yes, they've got to be on your list. Does that answer your question? Okay, cool. Okay, and the biggest mistake that many realtors are making is they're only grabbing an email address or a phone number. I mean, guys, how can you add value to my house? When you think about, if I said running shoes, what's the first company you think of? Nike? What if I said fast food? You think of McDonald's? What if I said pop? You think of Coke? Of course you do. That's what we all do. So when somebody says real estate, what do you want people to think of? You. So how do you do that? You connect with them and you connect with their house. Now you're building MindShare. Now when they're thinking about their house, they're thinking about you. Now all of a sudden you somehow become their realtor. And remember something, I don't think I have a realtor. Why? Because I'm not in the middle of doing a transaction. And although you want me to be, or you want to be my realtor, right? I'm not thinking about it the same way you are. So it's up to you to continue to position yourself the right way. And that again comes back to the premise about building MindShare and using a cross-channel approach to do that. Anybody else have any questions? I love it though, Elma. That was a great question about the 207. No? Anything from time management.
Quick question here.
Yeah.
How would you, a lot of people, it doesn't come naturally for them to schedule things. You recommended doing it for 10 minutes before bed.
Mm-hmm.
How would you recommend people to incorporate that as part of their daily routine if they're not used to it? Like not just at bed, but you know how things come up on the fly. Yep. You're standing with someone, you're making a meeting and you're putting in your calendar. How, like lots of people have that disconnect between wanting to do it, wanting to plan their time and thinking it takes too much time to actually put things into a schedule, lay things out.
Great question. Loaded for sure. And I mean, this is about a habit change, right? This is about buckling down every single day and going, that's it, I'm going to do it. And that's why the first thing we started with was identify where you do track everything. And right off the top, if you're saying, I just don't have a place to track it, I am going to encourage everybody is using an online CRM. Okay. Because we've had that question many times in this industry. What's the best CRM out there? I mean, I want to tell you, Loop CRM by Kits is the best CRM out there. But the reality, you want the real questions, the one you're going to use. So using it now, it's how do we simplify using it? Well, simplifying using it is to say, okay, I know I've got the tool. I'm going to begin to plug everything into this tool. And this is why I started with realistic time. But I don't know what to start with. Cool. Do you play hockey? Do you have sports? Do you have extracurricular activities? Do you have family members that have stuff that you will do on a regular? Again, take COVID and just wipe it off everything right now. Go normal world. What do you have that you are going to do this week? Put it in the schedule. Now it's a matter of going back and every night, 15 to 20 minutes, schedule. And understanding the 7 ways to communicate those line items, we're going to know we need to line item social media. Okay, when am I going to do that? We need to line item that meeting, that listing presentation, those phone calls, those follow-ups, that office meeting, that admin time. Put it in the schedule. And as you're putting it in the schedule tonight, tomorrow morning you wake up and you look at it, then all of a sudden you're moving through your day. You're not completely full and somebody says, hey, Sarah, can you help with, blah, blah, blah. Hey, Rebecca, can you help with this? Hey, Rita, can you help with that? Whatever. You're going to look and go, yeah, I could fit that in at 2:30, right? And you go plug it in. As opposed to, I'm not even going to look at the schedule, but I'll go for lunch with you. Well, does that make us as successful as we really want to be? No, because now we're on other people's time. The same way, it's like when this thing goes off, and for the amount of times it went off during the presentation, should I stop and just look at it? No, I'm not operating on my time if I do that. I'm operating to other people's time. So I always want to be in control of my time and not allow anybody else to control my time. So now when I'm not used to doing this, hey, it's like anything else. You're going to have to push yourself again tonight to schedule 15 to 20 minutes. Then as you go through your day and you check things off and you realize how much you got done, now when you go tonight and you look back, or tomorrow night and you look back at what you did, tomorrow, whatever, you get what I'm saying, right? The night ahead, you look back on it, you can go, look what I accomplished. And it feels good. It's a dopamine dump. Okay, let's do this again. And then slowly but surely, you'll be into this habit. And then at some point, it's just going to become routine, but it might be like a pain in the ass. And you might be like, oh man, I got to do this again tonight. Remember something. And as you just said, Rebecca, most people don't do this. But we know that if we manage time, we can manage money. And if we know that we're getting up in this business to have freedom and flexibility, then what do we have to do? Just manage time. So it is small baby steps, but it starts with identify where. It then starts with plug in the realistic time. It then starts with make a habit to plug in the predictable days. And no matter what comes up in the middle of the day, you're going to find some time to plug it into the calendar and mark it off that it got done. And now you're into habit, but now you own your day. Now, I can tell you, I teach full courses on time management. So it's definitely, that's why I say loaded question. There's a lot we can go through. And I know for each person individually, there's a lot of different challenges. And this is where, again, the coaching comes in, the one-to-one coaching comes in. We sit there, we will work with you individually to make sure that you are achieving what you want. And I'm going to hold you accountable too.
That's what a lot of people need.
Well, this is the thing, right? I mean, one thing that I find with a lot of my clients too is we know what we want. We kind of know how to get there, but we don't really. Now it's a matter of like, how do I do it? And then that push and that accountability partner that is going to drive you and make you better. That's how you're going to end up doing it. I mean, you think about pro athletes, the guys that are making Connor McDavid's and Sidney Crosby's and LeBron James and everybody, Tiger Woods, they all have coaches. Every single one of them still has coaches. And they're the best in the world, making the most money in the world. You guys all know The Amazing Race Canada. John Montgomery was on my MindShare podcast a few weeks back, and we talked about that. And even to win the gold medal, I said to him, okay, so you won the gold. Remember Vancouver 2010? I said, you won the gold. What happened after that? You still feel like you needed a coach? And he actually said at one point, he says he didn't feel like he needed a coach. And he said it was one of the biggest mistakes he ever made. So Olympic athletes winning gold medals, professional sports players making millions and millions, and even the best business people in the entire world have a coach. Why? Because it helps you reason through the things that are going around in your mind, the things that are up here that you're not sharing with everybody else, especially not your colleagues and your competition, but you need somebody to help you with them. And then when somebody doesn't help you with them, they just sit there, they just muddle around, and then something else comes and you never execute. Let's execute. Let's make you time efficient. Let's make you profitable.
Can I have one question?
Yeah, Elma, yes, it's $19 a month for the group coaching, by all means, and you can find that online. You can get in touch and we can talk to you more. Absolutely. Yes, Rita.
So you've been talking a lot about the industry, a lot talk about like mind sharing, a lot talk about coaching. And I know because I listen a lot of your podcasts and I listen your trainings. There's a lot in you that like you're a great presenter, obviously, and a great speech. But I was curious, and I'm sorry if it's a personal question, and tell me if it's a inappropriate question. I was wondering what motivates you, because the people who are great speakers, the people who are great coach and give their all to other people, I'm always wondering what's behind, what's your engine going from?
You. It's you. It's you, your colleagues, it's this industry. And I know that sounds maybe crazy, you know, and now that goes well beyond my family. That goes well beyond the things I like to do as extracurricular activities. But it's you. You see, doing this for a decade and a half now and being able to learn and literally learn and listen and talk and coach, you know, with the amount of people I have, it has taught me a lot about what's going on in the industry, where the downfalls are, where people can improve, where people's struggles are, where the challenges are, and where the opportunities are. And then when you paint that opportunity for somebody and they actually achieve that, and then they look back and they go, I love it. Or they put feedback in there and they say how awesome the feedback is about the content they get from their newsletters like you did. That right there is a driving force, because we know that as we continue to plug away consistently every single day, we're going to get more of that. And like I said, we're not doing it to get the feedback. We're doing it to help you achieve. It's amazing that when you achieve, you provide the feedback and all of a sudden we get the dopamine dump. And it's like, how could you not want to get out there and do more? You know, doing it from a stage is one thing. You got 500, you got 1,000 people in front of you and everybody's having a good time. I mean, most people are having a good time, not in their heads, you know, feeling energetic, but you walk off stage, you don't get that intimate opportunity to speak with everybody individually. Whereas when we get into, you know, the group coaching setting, the one-to-one setting, now we're tactical. Now we're able to take all of these great ideas and break them down and make them, you know, slow down the pace and start to really roll up the sleeves and be tactical with each one of you individually. Then you have your success. How could I not? How could anybody not want to get up and do more? I mean, look, I'm a coach for not only salespeople, but I'm a coach for a AA baseball team as well as a AA hockey team. And when you see these little guys who are 9 years old achieving and doing, and they make a mistake on the ice or on the field, they come back and you do the whiteboard for them and you show them how to do it better. And then they go back out there and they do it again. And they come back and you go, you did it. And you give them a high five and they're smiling. They're all happy. Come on. How can't you get excited about that? So the reality is you, this industry, all of you guys are my driving force. Beyond it is obviously family, which is, you know, the utmost importance to any of us. And then it's, you know, on a regular basis, Rita, it's self-development. How many of you are reading a book right now? You know, I would tell you that if you read 30 minutes a day, every day for an entire year, you should be able to polish off about 24 books per year. Now, just like you're all getting hungry right now, maybe you want to go eat something, so you're going to feed your belly. What happens when you want to learn something new? Well, you got to feed your brain. And that comes back to sessions like this. That comes back to reading books, and that comes back to education. So that's also a big driving force for me, as well as all of my mentors, people that I, you know, confide in and talk to, and folks that have helped me along the way and folks that continue to help me. Great question though, Rita. And I appreciate you tuning into the podcast and all the trainings.
Thank you.
It
Thank
means
you.
a lot.
Thanks for your great work, and thanks for today. I think we learned a lot all today.
Now it's a matter of putting it into action, right? Anybody else with anything that you wanted to ask about anything from the marketing to the coaching to anything that we learned today? All good, Rebecca.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh my
Thank
God, my
you so much for
pleasure.
being so generous with your time as well. I know we've gone a little bit over.
No, it's all good. You know what? Tim had reached out. He was on the podcast not too long ago. He had reached out to the, and I'm certainly happy and grateful. Thank you very much for the opportunity here. Again, everybody, you got my contact information on the screen. I hope we connect on social. If you want to know more about coaching or have an exploratory call, let me know. Rebecca, if there's anybody there that, you know, didn't join us today but wants more information, please share MindShare with them, you know, and we're here for you as a resource. So we look forward to working with everybody.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for joining us, David.
Okay, guys, have yourselves an awesome day. Don't forget the group coaching starts this Thursday, so get involved now. $19 a month. It's going to be awesome. We'll see you guys later, and make sure, get out there, make somebody smile today, and go build that mind share. Thanks, everybody.